best racing. We're in the game.
Gentlemen, start your engine!
I hope you're ready. This is going to be exciting.
Here we go, restarts up we go. Green flag is out and we're underway.
Just a few laps into this. Oh, the 37's getting loose. Oh, and he saves it. Oh, they're going 3 wide.
We've got a 5-way fight for the win of this race coming to 4 laps to go. He's gonna win it here in spectacular fashion.
Well, good evening, race fans, and welcome to race number 7 of the SAVE22.vet Premier Truck Series. Tonight, we have a first for the truckers of GLR, and that's right, for the first time, we are heading to Worldwide Technology Raceway. Gateway is on the schedule for the first time ever here this evening. Who will make history tonight and take home the first win at this track in this series? We will find out live right here on V-Speed. Thank you for tuning in. My name's Daniel Cunningham, joined up here in the broadcast booth, and also running the production truck is Bradley Cooper. As you can see, the track info here for Worldwide Tech Raceway out in Gateway, 1.25 miles long. I don't even know what you would want to call this place shape-wise. It's kind of like if you ordered Darlington off of Temu, as far as the shape
from
goes,
New Hampshire.
Yeah, if you order Darlington from New Hampshire, this is basically what you get. It's like a flatter version. It's got that 2 different distinct shapes on each end of the track. 1 and 2 got a little bit more banking. 3 and 4, you can carry a little bit more speed, more sweeping turns. So it'll make for a unique challenge for these drivers here this evening. And these drivers already have their qualifying runs finished up here this evening. So, Bradley, what do you say we just jump right into our Jam Printing and Promotions Pole Award and take a look at our starting grid here this evening? And since forming in 2013, Jam has contributed printing and promotional sponsorships to more than 60 local nonprofits with a primary focus on organizations that assist veterans, women, and children. They've been with Goat Locker Racing since the very beginning, local and veteran certified. When they do well, they do good in the community. Mark Whitley going for win number 4 in a row on the season. He will be starting off in P1 here this evening. To his outside is going to be the Jam Printing and Promotions truck, Patrick Drabick in the 07, starting alongside him on road number 1. Row number 2, the 04 of Wesley Burke and the 40 of Ken Huber, starting in 3rd and 4th. Rolling off in 5th is going to be Samuel Yosef. To his outside, Cody Anderson in the 18 starts in 6th. Starting in 7th, the 51 of Levi McCarty, James Goshen will roll off in the 8th position. Rounding out your top 10 here this evening, it will be the 14 of Chance Taylor and the 7 of Charles Aber.
Row number 6 with Thaddeus Friel Jr. Mike Browning will start in 12th spot. Then you go back to 13th with James Kaufman. Tyler B. Justice will start in 14th spot. Jason Kristen starting 15th with Matt Knight starting in 16th position. Player Assist Jr. Michael Jones, and you have Daniel Parks, Chuck Feltz, and a couple cars that elected not to take a time, and Brandon Wallace actually struggled out here, maybe with a connection issue, so not making the grid here before the start, but Michael Seymour and Brandon Wallace rounding out your field. We haven't done this in a while, Daniel, so go ahead, make your pick.
Oh, God, you're putting me on the spot here. First thing this evening, I mean, it's hard to bet against the guy starting P1 here this evening that's won the last 3 in a row, so give me Mark Whitley. I'm going to put you on the spot too, Bradley. Who you got this evening?
I think Wesley Burke finally gets it done here. I think he's got the goods. I'm going to watch the 04 drive up through this field late in the run. Hopefully we can get some green flag laps underway.
There you have it, the pre-race picks from myself and Bradley. Wesley, if you have a hard time tonight, Mark, same for you. If you all run into bad luck, well, sorry about your bad luck. That's just the way it works whenever the broadcasters end up picking you, especially whenever I do. It just seems to be the kiss of death around here. But we'll see if he can overcome that, get his 4th win in a row. Pace truck already pulled off. We are ready to get underway for 100 laps here at Gateway. Green flag is in the air. Field led by Mark Whitley, and we are underway. And already Patrick Drabick trying to pull a little crossover move here. Looking to the inside of Mark Whitley, but around goes the 07. Drabick spins on the opening lap. Levi McCarty spins as well. Ken Huber got a piece of that. And Patrick Drabick, he looks visibly frustrated with himself on that one. Don't believe there was any contact from another driver there. We'll go back and take a look here momentarily on the V-Speed instant replay. That was just Pat trying to get a little bit too much there early on, but early caution here. Good jump for Whitley.
Good dive.
Yeah, Pat drove it down to the inside, and yeah, just starts to loop around on him. Your pick there, the 04, is narrowly able to get through. Ken Huber looked like got the worst of that. You mentioned the 40 truck there. He got a pretty hard hit to the front end there when he got into Patrick Drabick, but this is on board of Wesley Burke. And, you know, on cold tires, that's a really nice job to be able to take that evasive maneuver there.
61 involved at the tail end of that. Maybe it was the 51 of McCarty. Yeah, 51. But yeah, cold tires, and we saw it in practice a lot. And it actually watched a lot of the body language. Patrick Drabick was practicing, trying to go out there and run some qual times. And the frustration, every single time on the outlap, the car was stepping out. And we even had somebody in the chat here saying that the cars are loose on exit corner. None of this surprises me. None of this at all surprises me. These trucks, these cars, anything you bring here to Gateway, you're going to have a hard time, just like New Hampshire. We mentioned that we can compare this track. It's flat like New Hampshire. There's a hump there on the exit of turn 2, and on the lower end, it's even flatter. It's hard to get it to hook up.
Yeah, and it's, you mentioned that frustration that you saw out of Patrick Drabick there. It's understandable. I mean, we've talked about the last few weeks just how fast that 77 has been. He's really hard to pass on the track, just does everything right as far as that goes, just holding the lead once he gets out there. So Drabick taking an opportunity there. He saw the chance to get up, get control of the race. I can't blame him one bit for the move, but unfortunately just does not work out in his favor. So a quick reset here on our running order with this early caution. Mark Whitley, Wesley Burke, they take up the top 2 spots here. Cody Anderson now up into the 3rd position. Samuel Joseph bunkered down in the 4th position, and James Goshen now running in 5th. So a bit of a shakeup there on your top 5, and James Goshen, one of the big winners out of that exchange, gains 3 spots, moves up into that final top 5 spot.
Hoffman gained 5. There was a lot of positions gained, but I want to see if we pick up where we left off there from last week. We had the driver camera up for Cody Anderson. It was a lot of frustration at the last race at Texas, where the 18 struggled to pass the 04, and they're side by side here for the next one. So
are you saying that race car drivers never forget, and Cody may still be a little incandescent of what happened last week, Bradley?
They never forget.
Yeah, that's true. I can confirm that. I can still probably tell you just about every driver that wrecked me at every racetrack, where it happened, how it happened, and definitely that it was the other guy's fault too. I 100% remember that
every
part
time
of it. So yeah. We'll see if that memory comes back here for Cody Anderson as field gets ready to head to that extreme scoring restart zone. We'll see if we can get a little bit farther this time around too. Green flag back out. Good jump here from Mark Whitley, able to easily clear just as he did on the initial start of the race. But there they are, side by side, those 2 drivers you were talking about for 2nd place.
And this is what we saw at the beginning. Still on cold tires. Can we get through 1 and 2? A little scrape with the wall there, but down the back stretch, looks like it single files out. That inside working. Burke actually drove off a lot better there on the high line.
Side by side though for the 4th position with Samuel Joseph and James Goshen. The 65 and the 85 is, that was Mike Browning with a big hit to the wall. The 4 off of turn number 4 there, and contact. Goshen gets into the 65 of Joseph. Joseph hard into the outside wall. We're not going to have a caution here as the truck is still pointed in the right direction.
Oh boy.
And that was a big moment there between those 2 drivers. Take a quick look at it here on the replay. Yeah,
I just want to add to this that the spotter did not say inside. It's saying it here, but he gets a run. 65 clears him. And the 85 is still pressing, hey, I still have the inside line. You don't. It's gone.
Yeah, that is that's a tough situation because you're right. I mean, Joseph would have gotten the clear call at that point and, been told, hey, you've got the inside there. Probably wasn't anticipating the 85 of Goshen driving it quite that far into turn number 1 there. And especially at this track, it seems like you've really got to back up that entry of turn 1, try to carry a little bit more. Well, you've really got to back it up just to get the truck to rotate. So, yeah, just unfortunate there that the 65 gets the worst out of that. Goshen now up into the 4th position, riding on board here with Wesley Burke, about 0.7 of a second back of Mark Whitley. And right now they're kind of matching lap times. One lap, Whitley may be about 0.5 tenth faster. The next lap, Wesley Burke will be about 0.5 tenth faster. Curious to see what the lap times are this time by at the line. And again, just about 0.5 tenth difference between the 2 of them.
This is what I want. I want this race to stay green. For my pick, I know Whitley is bad fast. It's going to be difficult to even catch up to him. But the race has to stay green. And when you're out front, yeah, you have that clean air, but it's a little bit difficult to gauge if you're overdriving the truck at this place. Yeah, it might feel good for the first 15 or 16 laps, but then suddenly you're pushing tight off these corners. We're going to struggle with loose pretty much all day, but you get halfway through that long run, and it seems like the truck transitions.
Yeah, it definitely will. And a little bit further back, we were talking about Samuel Joseph. He just went for another spin off of turn number 2, fighting the damage on that truck. He did spin off the racing surface, was able to get it back going again, though. And just a night gone south quickly here for the 65. That is very reminiscent of what happened to Patrick Drabick on the opening lap of the race. And throw in the damage that he's got there as well. That is just not a recipe for success. And it's going to be a long night, still 90 laps to go here for the 65 of Joseph. But I saw you were taking a look at a couple of battles for position here, Bradley.
Yeah, there was a spot back here in the 12th, 13th position. That hasn't settled out. What did settle out was 9th spot, but Daniel Parks, Ken Huber still side by side. 71 gets by on the outside line. Not quite clear here going into 3. We'll leave the lane open, but I would assume down the front stretch going to get by.
Yeah, Ken Huber fighting a little bit of damage on that truck from that opening lap incident.
Oh,
and,
boys.
Oh, big hit. Oh, man. Parks gets into Ken Huber. Huber able to save it, though. That could have been another big moment there out of the 40, but great job to hang on to it there for him. And, you know, all 3 of those drivers that were in that opening lap incident are right here kind of gaggled up together between Huber, McCarty, and Patrick Drabick, all trying to work their way back up through the field. But what about James Goshen here in the 85? I mean, he is showing a lot of speed so far tonight, currently trying to get that 3rd position away from Cody Anderson. Anderson able to carry the momentum and keep that spot for now, but Goshen is right on his back bumper, and also a strong run for Chance Taylor, who's starting to track into this battle as well.
When you're looking at the gap and the separation for the top 2 that are pulling away, you can see the 04 of Burke. He is slowly reeling in Mark Whitley, but it's 2.7 seconds back from that these drivers are battling. So Anderson probably faster on the outside to hold off the 85, but not fast enough to hold pace with Whitley and Burke. And based off the lap times that we're seeing right now, there's really nobody as fast as the top 2.
Yeah, those 2 are kind of in their own class right now as far as that goes. And you know, Bradley, at the risk of bringing up history here, the last time that you and I made picks in a race together, it was a 3-man booth.
Oh, yeah.
And all 3 of our picks finished on the podium. You, me, and Adam Baker.
I do believe yours was destined to not finish at all, but somehow figured it out.
Look, mine tried like hell to not finish on the podium. It wasn't for a lack of effort. He flipped over at a road course, but he still made it back up onto the podium. That's the important part.
And a mistake there by Burke. He just gave up 3/10 that last time by. It was down to around half a second. Now it's up to 8/10. So a slight little miscalculation. I'd say that happened probably coming off of turn 4. Let's see if he can get it back.
Yeah, it seems like he's struggling a little bit more over on that end of the track compared to Mark Whitley, although this time he does a lot better job of matching Whitley for that lap time and was actually about a half a tenth faster. So again, just right there, kind of what we were talking about earlier. It seems like he's able to kind of match pace, but just not quite able to reel him in the way that he needs to. So, but still a long way to go. Only 16 laps in to the event here this evening. And just a lot of time left for Wesley Burke to try to get it figured out and get up there and mount a little bit of pressure. So while we have a moment here, Bradley, let's go ahead and take a second to thank our title sponsor for the series with SAVE22. I'm going to give them a shout out here. They are a 501c3 organization dedicated to preventing suicide among veterans, active duty personnel, and first responders. Their unwavering mission extends to 4 critical pillars: shield, assist, volunteer, and educate at save22.vet. Appreciate everything they do, not just here, but for the veteran community as a whole.
Watching in, look how single file we are. I had to hunt really hard to find a battle, and it's a driver that started up in the top 3, had a self-spin. He was going after Ken Huber there for a minute, the 07 to Patrick Drabick, but that's what this racetrack kind of produces. It's going to be probably another 7 to 10 laps before these drivers actually feel that tight condition. You start to see some passing again.
Yeah, this track can be frustrating in that aspect. It's been a little while since I've actually raced here, but I know the last time I raced here was in an ARCA car, and you feel like you're faster than the guy in front of you. You feel like you can find a way around, but it's so easy for another driver to defend up on that top side that you kind of run out of options, and sometimes that frustration will get the best of you. That's where you might see a little bit of bumper tag come into play. But a couple cars up from this battle, that is Jason Kristen in the 20 that is trying to hold off Charles Abert in the 7. We also see Levi McCarty working inside of the 71 of Daniel Parks, trying to gain another spot here. They're thinking about 3 wide.
They are going to do it.
Trying to prove us wrong. They make it work. And it looks like Levi McCarty's going to get a 2 for 1 as Parks into the wall again.
Parks into the wall, and that was that tight condition I was talking about. That's where it's starting to come into play. Parks is going to end up losing the spots that he gained.
Yeah, it is really difficult for him now, and it compounds itself too. You bounce that right front off the wall, you're getting a little bit of aero damage, losing downforce leads to you just getting tighter and tighter and bouncing it off the wall again. And that's not the first time that we've seen the 71 making some contact on the exit of turn number 4. Had that moment with Ken Huber a little bit earlier, but yeah, it's going to continue to trend that direction, and Daniel Parks seems like struggling with that handling right now. Always up at the front of the field, Samuel Joseph gets into the wall right in front of James Goshen, place truck. I think Goshen may have gotten a little bit of damage out of that as well, but that was a big moment there between the two drivers. Goshen now back into the 4th position. Let's take a look on the replay here. And, you know, we talked about race car drivers never forget. I don't know what exactly happened, but we saw the contact between these two earlier in the race.
Yeah.
So let's take a look on the replay here. See, Joseph goes high up the track, says, here you go, Cody. You can go ahead and take this one. And, you know, to be fair, as sideways as he was off the exit of the turn, I don't believe there was any intent on that one from Samuel Joseph. It looked to me, at least at first view, that he was just trying to stay out of the way here. He gets really wicked loose and just trying his best to hang on to it. And then James Goshen just happened to be the truck in the wrong place at the wrong time there.
Yeah, I agree with that. Just a slight mistake up on that outside line, and Samuel Joseph is just praying for a caution that hasn't came yet. Mark Whitley has pulled out 2.4 seconds now. That lead has grown massively over Burke. I'm not sure if there was a mistake here by the 04 at some point.
Yeah, and one thing we haven't talked about yet is going to be pit cycles, pit strategies, things of that nature. Still got a little ways to go before we're going to have to worry about those pit stops. The drivers were saying somewhere between 55 to 60 laps would be a fuel run tonight. So just about halfway through that fuel run. And one thing I did notice earlier, as we see a 3 wide here with Parks and Kristen trying to get around Samuel Joseph. But one thing I did notice a little bit earlier when I was watching practice here, they've actually updated the pit road at this track where now you have to enter where that entrance is off of turn number 3. I mean, granted, so we ride on board here, you can see you can't really make that turn in that Daniel Parks just passed there. But now if you overshoot that entry and you're a little too hot down on that access road and run off into the grass, you could get a pit entrance penalty from that.
Yeah, it's a little bit dangerous now on pit road, and I remember when this racetrack kind of had that New Hampshire entry to pit road, and if you weren't careful with that, you could lock it up and slide into the pit barrels. So it's a catch-22. Yeah, they might have made it a little bit safer, but it's tedious. You can see that access road on the right.
Yeah, it is definitely going to change how you have to attack that, especially with that commitment line that they've added on here. Take a look at this battle for position still going on here between Parks, Kristen, and Abert. Daniel Parks trying to hold on to that position. Chuck Feltz now starting to close in on this battle here in that 75 truck, as is Thaddeus Friel Jr. in the 98. The Dale impersonator will say. Yeah. He's starting to close in on this as well. Yeah, he's definitely got an opportunity here, as you can see him reaching down to grab another gear. Drops down into third as they go through turns 1 and 2, back up into fourth on the back straightaway. And, that's another unique aspect with this racetrack of just, if you're shifting over in turns 1 and 2, where you shift as far as like what point in the turn can determine, like, if you're able to get the truck to rotate a little bit better, it can change the handling, change the drive off. And as we're riding on board here with Chuck, he's able to pick up one of those spots, gets himself up into the 15th position.
Nicely done, Chuck Phelps. Watching that top 5 start to accordion back together a little bit. Cody Anderson had pulled away almost a full second. Now starting to get reeled back in by James Goshen for third.
Yeah, Goshen doing a nice job hanging here with Cody Anderson. And I thought that Goshen did momentarily show a little bit of right front damage after that contact with Samuel Yosef that we saw just a few laps ago. But now visually on the truck, it doesn't look like he really has any damage to it. May still be a little bit of residual aero effects that he's dealing with, especially once he gets into this bubble where he's at right now. It's about 4 to 5 tenths of a second back. It's going to start getting a little bit of the effects of the dirty air on the front of that 85 truck.
We were just talking about Chuck Phelps, and then out of nowhere, Thaddeus Friel got by in the 98. So Chuck Phelps back to 16th now. 98 truck last time by. Putting down some pretty good lap times, 35 flat.
Yeah, really good lap time. Definitely competitive with what the top 10 drivers are running right now. So still a lot of speed in that truck. And just taking a look at the lap times as they ran the last lap, just 2 drivers were still in that 34-second bracket. That was Mark Whitley and James Kaufman, although this time around it looks like Chance Taylor is going to drop down into the 34-second bracket as well. So a lot of drivers still trying to find some speed, do what they can out there, as we see the Dale Earnhardt impersonator. He is. That is, I mean, that's kind of a Dale expression that he's got going on there. Just real calm, cool, collected. Just, I would say he's not getting too excited, but I don't think he's getting excited at all. He's just out there doing his thing right now.
Now also, I haven't had the opportunity. I'm trying to catch it at the right time, as Sam Yosef has a twisted T-cam here tonight. And that's about the only way you can get through this at this point. 1 lap down, heavy damage on the right front. You got to reach down and grab that twisted T every now and then.
Hey,
I'm waiting for it.
I'm not going to knock it. We, if you've had a night like he had, where you get spun like that, you get into the wall early, and it's just not your night. Those are the worst ones. Like, you never want to have a bad night, but you get into an incident early, you've got a damaged vehicle, you're just trying to log laps, it's trending as a green flag race, you don't really get a chance to come down and get the damage fixed. And those are the ones where you need to reach over and grab for your beer, or whatever it is that you're drinking, your beer, your twisted tea, maybe a shot of bourbon, whatever your choice is. I don't blame him a bit for that tonight.
So during this battle for the top 3, Chance Taylor got around James Goshen, and I think the 14 is starting to show pace. It's been pretty quiet since the start of this race. Picked up a few positions at the very start with that incident, but now it looks like all offense for the podium in the 14.
Yeah, Chance Taylor has been running really fast laps these last handful of laps out on track. He's actually been faster than the leaders. Fastest car out on track, and by about a tenth and a half over the leaders, by a little over 2 tenths actually over Wesley Burke in the second position. So the 14 showing a ton of long run pace here. The question is now, how are you going to be able to get around Cody Anderson in that 18 truck? And, how do you set this up? We've talked about passing being a little bit difficult. Anderson now picking the pace up a little bit, ran a 35.06 the last lap, just about even with what the leader Mark Whitley ran. Seems like once you get up to somebody, they're able to find just a little bit more pace, and they're able to defend that position.
Well, we've talked about mirror driving. You can kind of take that line away, or see the guy in your mirror braking a little bit later, you know you can get the drive off. There's a lot that can go into it. Seems like 3 and 4 better for the 14 of Taylor compared to Anderson last time by. It was about a tenth faster for the 18. So actually going to have Goshen go back on offense. So you get by somebody, and then within a couple laps, they're back to your inside. Here we go again.
And looking to the inside is James Goshen, not quite close enough to try to make something happen. And Chance Taylor looks like just trying to keep any kind of clean air that he can on the front of that 14, just trying to stay out of the wake of Cody Anderson. This time around, pretty even lap times between those three. Goshen was the fastest of this group. James Kaufman was also pretty quick as the 4 of Mike Browning. Oh, and the 33 of Tyler Justice is around as well. Oh, Justice was having a pretty decent run there, just kind of keeping the truck clean, but that is going to put us under caution at basically the outer extremity of the fuel window here. So let's go back and take a quick look here. Browning and Travick were battling for position.
Did you just use the word of the day?
Oh, no, I used it earlier. Oh, and Browning got into Travick there, just overshot the turn. Were you thinking it was extremity?
Yeah.
No, that wasn't the word of the day. Yeah, that's a good one, but that wasn't it. Anyway, back to the incident on track. Travick pulls up in front of the 4 of Mike Browning. Browning gets in just a little hot there, gets into Travick. Tyler Justice caught up in the crossfire there with everything. And that is going to be what brings out the caution here on lap number 37, coming to lap number 38. And yeah, this is going to make for an interesting situation here. If this race does go green, this is going to be the outer edge of the fuel window. Going to be right at 60 laps. The cautions will help to save just a little bit. May see some drivers near the back of the pack also come down and top off with fuel here.
20 of Jason Kristen going to stay out and get the wave around. Samuel Yosef also eligible for this free pass. So I would assume, yes, the 65 is going to stay out here and get this wave around the pace car. But it's Mark Whitley leading them in.
Yeah, the 65 of Yosef staying out, taking the wave around, maybe going to try to take an opportunity to grab a drink of that Twisted Tea you were talking about earlier there too, Bradley. Yeah. So we take a look at the race off of pit road. The 77 will hold serve here. Mark Whitley will retain the race lead. Wesley Berg, Cody Anderson, Chance Taylor, and new 5th place runner, Levi McCarty, had that spin on lap number 1, caught up in that incident. He is working his way back into this as well. And he's going to have pretty good track position here to get up and try to mount a charge once we get back going green here. But while we've got a moment under this caution, want to take a second to thank another one of our league sponsors, and that is the GLR web store, where you can support the sport and the mission with Goat Locker Racing. GLRwebstore.com, you'll find quality racing apparel, hats, and gear, and every purchase supports veterans, active military, and first responders. Your order also helps fuel our mission and fight back against mental health challenges facing our community. Great gear, real purpose. Visit GLRwebstore.com. I've got a couple of the products off of there myself. I've got a hat, a shirt, and a hoodie, and I'm a big fan of all 3 of them. It's rare that I can actually find a hat that fits my big head, but Pat was able to find one and send it to me that did fit. So shout out to him too.
I missed it again. I'm going to get it.
I was like, what did you miss? Oh, you missed the Twisted Tea cam. That's what you were talking about. Okay.
I'm going to get it.
You had me scratching my head there for a second, but I'm tracking you now.
Thaddeus Freel's camera finally gave up there. As you watch Sam, Thaddeus Freel got it back up and running.
And you know, as soon as we go back to the front of the field here, he's going to pick up that Twisted Tea. That's just the way it's going to work.
He just gave me a no. I just saw it. He said no.
He must have the broadcast up watching it in the background like some of our drivers do on occasion. But pace truck is off field, getting ready to head into that extreme scoring restart zone. Got my eyes on that 51 truck in the 5th position to see if he's going to be able to get up there and mount a challenge now that he's got that recovery going. Green flag back in the air. Big jump from Mark Whitley. He's able to clear through. Battle is on for 2nd. They were looking 3 wide for a moment. They single file back down. Cody Anderson still on the inside, and maybe a little contact to the wall there for Wesley Burke.
Did clip the wall coming off of turn 2 and then sets up a side-by-side battle in the 4th position. 51 of Levi McCarty going to pick up another one.
Yeah, Levi McCarty showing that he has got a lot of speed in that truck. Doesn't look like he has any damage from the lap 1 incident. The yellow flag is back out though. Caution out on the track. The 65 of Samuel Yosef. Man, it is not his night. The 12 of Claire Sisk involved as well. And we are back under the yellow here at Gateway. Samuel Yosef, you know you need a drink right about now. We've got it pulled up. We've got it teed up for you. Got it twisted, teed up for you, but no dice as of right now. Take a look on the instant replay of what happened with this incident between the 65 and the 12. And oh, that actually started with the 98 of Thaddeus Friel up ahead of these two. I didn't see him spin initially because he did have that connection issue where he blinked out. So, I mean, wrong place, wrong time here for the 65 of Yosef. Friel gets loose on exit. And just about the time that the truck disappears, Samuel Yosef making contact, and then Claire Sisk gets caught up in it as well. Yeah, just nowhere.
Hotel. All right.
That is indeed a has-been hotel truck.
Yeah. That's bringing up some past.
I didn't know you were a fan. We'll have to.
I wasn't. I didn't know anything about it, and I'll recap on that. But
okay, we'll have to catch up on that during the post-race commercial break. Yeah, I'm a big fan of that show. I've watched most of them. So anyway, looking at the field here now that we are back under the caution, looks like we've got a split decision here. Few drivers electing to come down, top off with fuel. See Chuck Phelps, Tyler Justice, Matt Knights, Charles Abert, among others here, making their way down to ensure that they are good to go to the end. See Browning, Kristen as well.
This should get them all the way to the end of the race here. Top off with fuel.
Yeah, they will indeed be able to make it to the end from here. And I believe with this caution, even the drivers up at the top of that stayed out should be able to make it to the end as well. Should be able to save enough under this caution, but we will see if that is indeed the case, or if this goes green, how that may work out. As Bradley, I hate to be the bearer of bad news here as well. As see the speeding penalty for Chuck Phelps here on this caution, but it looks like Samuel Yosef has chosen to absquatulate from the session here this evening. So no twisted T-cam for you the rest of the evening.
I tried my best.
You did. You gave it the old college effort. I can't fault you for trying there.
Well, then I'm just going to go somewhere else. I'm going to go completely opposite and go ahead and not wait for the commercial break.
Okay, what you got?
So S&R had their 500 race out 3 weeks ago now. And Angel Dust from Has-Been Hotel did a cameo for Walk and Rolling Costumes to launch that race off. Did a complete voiceover, and I knew nothing about the show. I knew nothing about it. I had to do my research, you know. For those of you that aren't aware, Has-Been Hotel is definitely not a children's show, even though it's a cartoon. I learned that day.
I hope you didn't pull that up while the junior Bradley was close by.
No, I did not.
Okay, so you're safe then.
Yeah, that was an experience.
Yeah, if anybody's watching at home and decides they want to pull that up, please take advice from us. Do not watch that until after the kids go to bed. I mean, or do. I don't know. I'm not your supervisor. Anyway, we're getting ready to go back green here. Field in control of Mark Whitley again as they head to the extreme scoring restart zone. Green flag back in the air, and it looked like a little bit of tire spin there for Wesley Burke. He did not get a good launch at all on that restart. He's getting a little bit of a shove there from Levi McCarty, but now he's got Cody Anderson side by side. They're thinking about 3 wide. Levi McCarty's looking. He's going to take it 3 wide on the bottom.
What a move here from McCarty. If he can get it done here in the 3 and 4, 18's going to back out. No, he's going to stick the nose in there and get back to it, but they close it off. Wesley Burke trying to defend for second.
Cody Anderson backs out of that 3 wide middle situation, but he's still right there. That is going to put McCarty now up into a podium position. A little bit further back, though. Here's a battle for position. Patrick Drabick trying to regain all of that track position from his lap 1 spin. Doing a nice job right now. He's in that 7th position trying to find a way around James Kaufman for 6th. Looking to the inside as they get down into 3 and 4. Hit to the outside wall there for Wesley Burke, and that is going to allow Levi McCarty to get around for the number 2 position. So up to the 2nd spot now for the 51. Patrick Drabick still trying to find a way around James Kaufman. Probably does have just a little bit of damage here as well from that lap 1 incident, but here comes Goshen. He was thinking about 3 wide middle there, just wasn't quite clear enough of the 07 to try it. Drabick still looking, Kaufman thinking about a pinch down to the bottom, as it looks like that was Wesley Burke maybe got into the wall again.
Burke is pushing this thing hard to try to get around the 51, and he ends up making a mistake off of 4, and they're 3 wide behind him.
3 wide momentarily between Kaufman, Goshen, and Patrick Drabick. Ken Huber right there behind. Patrick Drabick probably just wanting to try to find a way to get this sorted out so he can try to get going, but Drabick starts to go around. He does a little dirt track, and both of them are into the wall. The 07 and the 25 both into the wall. Caution is out on the track yet again. Daniel Parks got caught up in that as well, and we saw that one building for quite a while here between those drivers. As we go back and check the instant replay on this one. Heading down into turn number 3, Drabick was looking to the middle there. Kaufman gets into it once, twice, and they make contact again. Ken Huber piles into it as well. Nowhere for him to go. Parks was in it. I think that was Jason Kristen that went up underneath the back of the 07 as well. Heavy damage for quite a few drivers on that one, as Patrick Drabick missing a pretty key piece of the truck there with the back bumper hanging off.
Going to go into the grass here on board with Thaddeus Friel.
And Friel sees all of this happen right in front. Wow, did he miss all of that?
Yeah, he did somehow.
He channeled the spirit of Dale to miss that entire. I thought for sure that he made contact with somebody, but he came out of that with no contact to any other vehicles. Here's Claire Sisk in the 12, finds their way through that incident as well. But man, I got to hand it to the 98 there of Thaddeus Friel Jr. I thought for sure that he got somebody or got some kind of damage out of that. But great job of missing that one.
We'll look from the blimp camera, and there's a pinch. I don't know if you can put that on anybody in particular, but just, driving into the corner, I think 25 was maybe a little bit higher than the 07 expected him to be. But at the same time, you go back 2 laps, and the 25 was about a lane lower than the 07 expected him to be. So that's kind of the race cars drivers never forget kind of mentality. I'm going to pinch you. You pinched me.
Yeah, I mean, we've We've said that a couple of times now that, you know, race car drivers never forget. Somebody pinches you once or twice, you're going to say, okay, well, if that's the way we're racing, that's the way we're racing.
Comes back around.
You know, I can reciprocate that just as well as the next guy. So maybe a little bit of what happened there, a little bit of shenanigans, I think I heard race control say when they were summarizing that incident between the drivers. So we'll give it another go here. Just past halfway, lap 52 of 100. Mark Whitley has, I think he's pretty much led them all so far. Started on pole. He's been out in control of this incident, or of this race since lap number 1. And trying to get that 4 in a row. Maybe with the way that these last few restarts have gone, that might not have been totally inaccurate.
I think you said it right, but your pick, doing a fantastic job, and that's part of what you have to do here at Gateway, is just stay out front in the clean air.
Yeah, you are absolutely correct on that. And, you know, it looks like race control has extended this caution by 1 additional lap. So, you know, interesting story about that. My very first ever iRacing league win was here at Gateway in an Xfinity car. And I think I was about 9th or 10th all race just on pure pace. Caught a caution at the right time in a pit cycle, ended up inheriting the lead, and that was all I needed. The difference between 1st and 10th that night was just clean air. So that is definitely a key here to this racetrack, is once you get out there, do everything that you can to control it. And even taking a look out at our YouTube chat right now, see Brantley from Harpoon Designs, one of Mark Whitley's sponsors that he has and shouts out all the time here, says, put them in your dirty. And I can only assume that he's talking about dirty air with that.
Absolutely. That's what you have to do. And when we come off these corners, you get that drive off the exit, make sure that the tires connect and you get a good run down one of these drag strips. That's the other part of this. You can give them dirty air in the entry, but it doesn't really factor in until later in the run. You saw everybody getting tight. For the most part, everybody's getting loose right now. We're going to see that for probably another 10 laps or so. And with these cautions cycling, the wheel spin on these restarts is going to be crazy.
Yeah, and that is one thing I'll be interested to see now that we've had a few heat cycles on these tires. When we do end up having this restart, is anyone going to spin the tires, especially in that outside lane? But we are about to find out as the field heading into that extreme scoring restart zone. Mark Whitley, your control truck on this restart. And yeah, it just seems like that outside lane just does not get a very good launch here, as Levi McCarty now going to be under fire from Cody Anderson for the 2nd position. Mark Whitley able to easily clear through for the lead.
The 51 is going to get a good drive off of the corner. Going to slot the 04. Burke going to look to the inside in 3. 18 took the outside. I think he's got the preferred line if he can pinch down a little bit.
We talked
it's a little
about
too
contact.
much.
Here they go. They're going
and the
to
bad
get
blood continues.
Again. Oh boy, you have got to think that Cody Anderson cannot be happy about that. And yeah, I think I can tell what is going through the mind of the driver of the 18 right now. You know, we've talked about it. They had contact last week. They've raced each other hard here this evening. Contact again between the two of them. As we take a look here on the V-Speed instant replay, Burke with the crossover, drives it down on the inside. Anderson has that outside lane. And it's really hard to tell from that angle. Did Burke drift up the track at all? Was it Anderson coming down a little bit farther to pinch at all? Let's take another look here from the blimp cam. This will give us a good view of it.
Yep, if we're bobbled a little bit there.
Yeah,
just a little bit.
I would have to agree with that summary there. He's down on the bottom. So we watch on board here from the driver POV.
It's a rumble strip down on the inside of 3 and 4. To be fair, though, if you can quote me on that, or you know what show that's from.
Yeah, I'm drawing a blank on that one.
A little bit of Letterkenny for you.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought it was from, but for some reason I was drawing a blank.
Yeah, the 18 kind of drove the 04 down there to hit those rumble strips. So you're asking a lot of anybody to go down that low and hold it together. I think you got to give a little more room.
Yeah, and the flip side of it is, too, if it's not the 04 that's down there to his inside, does he maybe give a little bit more room? After the incident last week, the contact that we saw, race car drivers never forget. We will keep saying it. You know, if it's somebody else down there, does Cody Anderson maybe give just an extra, even just an extra quarter of a truck width there? And that is a possibility. So,
it was one of us, maybe.
Well, if it was me, he probably would have just put me down in the grass because, you know, that's just how Cody and I race each other. That's just our thing.
A lot of history.
Yeah, we've raced against each other a lot, so has a tendency to go that way sometimes. But getting ready to go back green here while they are pacing and coming to the 1 to green here. I give a shout out to another one of our league sponsors while we have a moment, and that is Glove Station. So at Glove Station, they are committed to providing quality gloves and protective gear for a wide range of your daily activities and jobs. From tinkering on home DIYs to working in industrial environments and everything in between, they got you covered. With endless amounts of safety products on the market, we want to make it effortless for you to find the right protection for your needs. We appreciate all of Glove Station's support here. And, you know, one other thing I want to make mention of real quick here, Bradley. The 04 of Wesley Burke was given an EOL for causing that incident. Cody Anderson is going to be in the back, too, because he came down pit road, got fresh tires. I'm not saying, I'm just saying they're going to be close to each other on track again.
I saw a lot of nodding from the 18's camera, so that's why. Okay.
That is indeed why. Getting ready to fire back off here, field, in that extreme scoring restart zone. Green flag back out in the air. Again, the good jump for Mark Whitley. Levi McCarty now with a new challenger for the second place, and that is Chance Taylor. They're going to single file out for right now. But back here in the middle of the Hornets' nest, that's Matt Knights, Michael Jones, Daniel Parks, all there under a blanket together. Cody Anderson a little bit farther back in this battle. James Goshen trying to work his way up through the field as well after having a really strong run for the majority of the night. These drivers trying to get everything they can here on these restarts. And I know why you're looking back here, Bradley. You're trying to see how many trucks are in between the 18 and the 04.
Not very many.
Yeah, not very many indeed. And it's about to be just one truck in between as Wesley Burke working around the 37 of Michael Seymour. Just the 7 of Charles Aber in between the 2 of them now. And Anderson just up ahead. He's looking to the inside of Matt Knights as well. These two drivers have had a ton of speed all night. I mean, they've both been up in the top 5 the majority of the evening. Would venture to say we'll see both of them be able to kind of dice their way up through the field. But yeah, I'm with you. What happens if they end up side by side again?
Taking the side by side, the 37 of Michael Seymour just got to the inside of Chuck Phelps. No surprise, because Seymour had just about hit the wall coming off of turn 4, but still had the momentum. So Phelps might have made a mistake as well. Not enough, though, for him to complete that pass. So Seymour going to fall back. Battle for the 4th position. Tyler Justice just got by this 85 of Goshen, and Mike Browning going to take a stab at it. Couldn't get the drive off of 4.
Yeah, Tyler Justice, he just needs to have a good, solid night. He has been snake bitten in a lot of these series this season, now up into that 4th position, but he's got James Goshen still breathing down his neck. Goshen looking to the inside for that 4th position here as they head down into turn number 3. Justice giving him plenty of room down there on the bottom. Goshen hanging tight on the inside there, but Cody Anderson, he is on the move right now, up into that 6th position. You know, we were talking about what happens if him and Burke get side by side. He may not have to worry about it because Anderson is just flying up through this field right now.
Yeah, and he's got a good group of cars between him and the 04 now. So I don't think we're going to see any of those fireworks just yet. But we are 2/3 of the way through this race, and you're running out of time. These drivers know that.
Yeah, and something we haven't really talked about here this evening is tire wear. That first green flag run, the lap times had fallen off by almost 2 seconds over the course of that run. And Cody Anderson put fresh tires on. Everybody else ahead of him has at least 5 more laps on their tires. Goshen is just 5 laps more. Everybody else, the top 3, they are 24 laps in on their tires compared to Cody Anderson now with 7. So he definitely has a grip advantage over these trucks in front of him. Could he use that? I mean, we know that he's going to be able to make it to the end on fuel. Everybody should. Is there a chance that that spin could be the best thing that happened to him this evening?
I don't know. I mean, he's working through this field very quickly, back to the top 5 in just a handful of laps. I'm talking about maybe 5 or 6 laps under green. Anderson moving up through this field. He now has Chance Taylor for the 3rd position, about 1.5 seconds ahead.
Well, here's the big thing now, is he's got clean air, he's got clean racetrack ahead of him. The last lap by, even with having to battle for position, he basically matched Chance Taylor on lap time. So this time at the line, just taking a look at the speeds, Anderson was 1/10 faster than Mark Whitley, 2/10 faster than Levi McCarty, and 4/10 faster than Chance Taylor. He has definitely got a realistic shot of at least getting up there on the podium. I don't know if a race win may be in order, but it could still be a really good night for the 18.
Those last lap times, I agree with you here, but Mark Whitley is in a class of his own. And the 77 has led every single lap here today. 64, 65 now. Coming by the line, running it out wide here into 1 and 2. Late apex, hitting down on the bottom, getting just enough drive off. Levi McCarty, last time by, about 1/10 off the lap times, half a 10th roughly here for the 51. And that's what we saw with the 04, who was in 2nd place for the first half of this race.
Yeah, it's been so difficult these last few weeks for anybody to be able to match the pace that Mark Whitley has had. It's been a really impressive run for him as this battle for position heating up. Goshen in the wall, contacts with Parks. They were trying to battle with Tyler Justice there as well, but Goshen definitely comes out the worst of that. Pretty heavy damage to the right front of that truck as well. Let's go back and take a quick look on the replay here. As Goshen got into the wall, Parks went to the outside, and yeah, that should have been a spotter call, truck outside there.
Yeah, you bounce the wall, you gotta know that guy's gonna run up on you.
Yeah, absolutely. And then after that happened, there was a separate incident involving Goshen in the 85, along with Thaddeus Friel Jr. It looked like they made a little bit of contact off of turn number 2, sent Friel down to the inside of the track, off the racing surface, but heavy damage to the front of that truck as well. This was right after that hit to the wall that Goshen had that we just watched the replay for. He gets loose, gets into Friel, and massive contact to the front of that truck. That is going to be a night ender for the 98.
Here's the aftermath, and then there's the 85 gathering it back up on the outside, and watch here off of turn 2.
Yeah, and that was kind of reminiscent of what we've seen a few times here this evening with trucks getting loose on the exit of 2. He gets up into the wall a little bit, gets down into the 98. Nowhere for Thaddeus Friel Jr. to go. Nothing he really could have done differently there. Just wrong place, wrong time for him. But Cody Anderson, he has made his way up to 3rd place. Chance Taylor, he's got a pretty substantial advantage here with the tires. We'll see how quickly he's able to dispatch of this 14 truck. But Chance Taylor has shown a lot of speed himself here this evening and is having a really nice run. Anderson's going to have his work cut out trying to get around him for that 3rd position.
You have half a second that last time by. It's a lot of time, Daniel. That I like where Cody Anderson brought it down pit road. Now, these tires will level off within the next probably 5 to 10 laps. But Anderson's good to make it to the end of this race, and he can absolutely race his way up there to 2nd.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I think at least 2nd place can be on offer here for the driver of the 18. He's able to get around Chance Taylor here. I think Chance saw the writing on the wall for that one. held him off as long as he could, but then just realized I got nothing for him. There's not much you can do when the tire advantage is that massive for the driver behind you. And even with battling for position, you can see on the lap times there, still matching Levi McCarty and only about a tenth off of Mark Whitley in the 77. So he is a little over 3 seconds back of the race leader, just about 2 seconds even back of Levi McCarty for the second position, but still just under 30 laps to go here. Plenty of time for Anderson to continue to make up some ground.
Play a third place car for certain. Going to be a pretty big gap of about 2 seconds to catch up to second place. Battle on the racetrack here. Burke also on the move. He did not take tires on that last stop, and with the EOL penalty, the 04, proving that he still got the speed to be in the top 5. Pass on the 71 at Parks.
Yeah, able to get around Parks there. Parks maybe with just a little bit of damage lingering from that incident we saw a few laps ago with James Goshen. But yeah, you make a good point there. Wesley Burke has driven from the back of the pack after getting that EOL penalty up to the 6th position, and he's done it on even tires as everybody else. Maybe even just a little bit of a deficit to some of those that he has passed. So still showing a ton of speed in that truck, and if there is another caution where he can get bunched back up, get some fresh tires on it, never know what he may be able to pull off to be able to get up there and maybe get himself back on the podium.
Top 3 running 34.7s now. With a 15 lap difference on tires, I'm kind of surprised here. Levi McCarty, Mark Whitley are beating the lap times of Cody Anderson last time by.
Yeah, and you got to wonder if maybe Cody Anderson taking a lap or two to cool the tires off after he did have that battle with Chance Taylor, or if there's a possibility that he's just kind of burned the good off of those tires with having to work his way up through the pack. I mean, the tire advantage is nice, but when you have to go through as many trucks as Anderson has, it's really difficult to maintain that advantage. Although last time by, he was almost half a second faster than Levi McCarty, about even with the race leader, Mark Whitley. So maybe a little bit of a bobble there out of the 51 that is allowing Anderson to catch up just a little bit quicker as well. And actually, I think that was the bobble we might have seen there, as McCarty was in the wall off of turn number 4.
Yeah, just touched the wall there off the corner. We're watching the lead grow to 2 seconds, just over 2 seconds there. But behind that, it's 1.7 seconds. So it's coming down for second place. I don't think that Anderson has the speed here to catch the leader, but definitely has the speed to catch the 51.
Yeah, I certainly agree with that, as he's got it down to about 1.7 seconds. The last couple of laps, they've been pretty even on lap times. This time by just about a quarter of a tenth of a second between McCarty and Cody Anderson. Chance Taylor also just about even on lap times there. Even Tyler Justice in the 5th position, pretty even on lap times as well. So a lot of these tires starting to kind of equalize here, which you touched on a little bit earlier, Bradley, that they'll have a tendency to do that over the course of the run. They don't just continue to drop off with the lap time. They'll kind of plateau at a certain point, and then from there, you just kind of matching pace with those around you.
James Goshen starting to struggle a lot here, Daniel. Watching the 85 with that damage on the right front. He's falling back to 9th, has a 64 of Matt Knight just behind. And it's Charles Aber in the 7. So the top 10 up for grabs. Less than 2/10 separate all these trucks.
Yeah, and it's really unfortunate for James Goshen that his night has turned the way it has. He was up there running in the top 5 early on. You can see there pretty substantial damage on the right front. Now under fire for the 9th position from Matt Knights. Matt Knights having a really strong run himself here this evening. Driver that we don't talk about a ton here in this series, just kind of goes out, runs his own race, tries to keep the truck clean, and tonight doing so has got him in a top 10 position, although he does have Charles Aber closing in. But Goshen down to the bottom of the track, he was really loose off of turn number 2 yet again there. just struggling with the handling and with the damage on that truck.
64 going to take the outside here off of turn 4. Looks like will clear. There's the run down the front stretch. Up to P9 now.
Yeah, so the solid run continues here for Matt Knights. And just up ahead of them, another driver I want to give a shout out to is the 0-2 there of Michael Jones. I mean, he, right now, just kind of on his own little island out there on track. Started 18th, up 10 spots from where he started. He and Daniel Parks, the two biggest movers of the race so far. Parks up 12 spots, Michael Jones up 10 spots. And Michael Jones is another one of those drivers, kind of like I mentioned with Tyler Justice, where it just seems like he's been running into bad luck here week after week. But a really solid run here tonight up inside the top 10. And you were starting to see it there, talking about the 71 of Daniel Parks as well. Despite a couple of hits to the wall, a little bit of damage on that truck, he has actually tracked the 0-4 of Wesley Burke back down and is putting pressure on for that 6th position.
I don't know if they ever actually left each other's bumpers, and watching Daniel Parks, he's riding in that line. He kind of changed up the way he was approaching 3 and 4 and riding right behind Wesley Burke up to Tyler Justice. So I think the 04 and 71 are going to be battling for the top 5 in just a moment.
Yeah, it could be a 3-truck battle for position between those drivers. And yeah, I believe you are correct that Daniel Parks has really been glued to that 0-4 truck since Wesley Burke made the pass for position. Burke just not able to set sail from the 71. And Parks is doing a nice job of just adjusting his line based off of wherever Wesley Burke is running. See him here with his driver cam on. It's a nice run off of turn number 4 down the front straightaway and doing just enough to stay offset. He drove it in pretty deep there, keeping some clean air on the front end of the truck, but Burke able to pull that gap back off the exit of the turn.
That drive off that we're talking about, getting that truck to hook up, and the 71 wasn't able to do that with the deeper drive into the corner. Sometimes it's more difficult to do that.
Definitely be a balancing act with that between how far do you want to drive it into the turn versus how much do you want that drive off of the corner. Let's take a look here from the back of the 51 of Levi McCarty, looking at Cody Anderson. Still about 1.2 seconds between these two drivers. Anderson has not been able to close that gap down anymore as of yet. The top 4 drivers, really the top 5 drivers on track, all within about half a tenth of one another on the stopwatch that last time by. So the tires have definitely equalized here. It's going to make that passing that much harder. But in the back of the pack, in the mid-pack rather, I should say, they're still giving it the old college try here. They're going for it. See James Goshen here. You've got Charles Abert, Chuck Phelps, and I don't know that the Twisted T cam is back on or not, Bradley, but that is Samuel Yosef back out on track. I don't know if his webcam is still up, but a couple of drivers dropping out due to various issues. Yosef has been able to pick up 4 spots here on the evening, now up into the 17th position. So even though the night has not gone his way, sticking with it, grinding out a few more spots here to help that point standing position of his. And you never know when that may come into play as we get close to the playoffs.
Felt up to 11th now, and looking at the top 10 for the 75. He's going to have a good drive. He's got the 85 with a lot of damage in front of him. The James Goshen, who's been hemorrhaging spots in the back half of this field now. Chuck Phelps looking to get a top 10. He's up 9 positions. Realistic for the 75 to get around here.
Yeah, really solid run for him as well, for Chuck Phelps in that 75. You said just outside of the top 10 right now, but still he has got some pressure on James Goshen, and we know that Goshen is struggling with the handling of that 85 truck here this evening with that damage on the right front. Chuck now right on the tailgate of James Goshen, but not quite able to get it hooked up to be able to make that pass. Chuck got the guns out here, trying to get that pass done here as we get close to 10 to go. Chuck now looking to the outside of James Goshen. Goshen able to get the drive on corner exit there. Maybe gets into the wall just a little bit on the exit, but able to keep it going, keep that momentum up. And yeah, it looks like Chuck is doing a better job here rolling the center and making up ground in the center. I mean, you can see just how much he closes in on Goshen there. Goshen struggling with the handling. They get together, contact down the straightaway. They're both able to hang on to it. And that is actually going to allow Samuel Yosef, the lap truck there, to get around Chuck Phelps. So now another truck in between he and the next one for position.
Back this up a little bit.
Oh, Goshen's in the wall on the back straightaway. Big contact between the two of them. This is on the replay here that we are watching right now of the incident that happened between the 75 and the 85. Goshen goes up the racetrack. We talked about how he's struggling with that damage on the front of the truck. Gets into the wall. The two of them making contact. That could have easily turned one or both of them. Both drivers able to hang on to it. And in this very next lap off of turn number 2, we'll see it here with the 85 of James Goshen. Gets loose, trying to correct it. Big contact into the outside wall. And again, the 65 of Samuel Yosef. Wrong place, wrong time. He is, he's got to be tired of seeing the 85 sideways in front of him here this evening. That's about the second or third time that that's happened. And yeah, at this point, all you can do if you're Samuel Yosef is just kind of laugh about it. It's just one of those nights. While we have a moment here, inside of 10 to go, Mark Whitley still your race leader, up by 3.8 seconds over Levi McCarty. Want to give a shout out to one more of our league sponsors, that being Alexander PCs. They are a custom and gaming PC builder who has been building and modding systems since 2002. They are a veteran-owned and operated family business, and all of the team members, support, and production are U.S.-based. All desktop PCs come with an industry-best lifetime limited warranty and service guarantee. Work, play, conquer, Alexander PCs.
Hey, what? I don't think anybody's catching Whitley. Unless we get a yellow, nobody's going to be on the back door at all.
Yeah, and the thing that's going to make it interesting if we do get a yellow here in the late stages of this race is it's going to put Mark Whitley in a no-win situation. We saw it with the ARCA series on Monday night this past week. Late caution comes out, race leader does one thing, pretty much everybody else just does the opposite.
Yeah.
So it just makes it really difficult if it does happen. So the last thing that Mark Whitley wants to see right now is a caution and just giving the opportunity for calamity to ensue at that point.
We're watching this battle for 6th position as well in these closing laps. We approach 5 to go. Daniel Parks is hung with Wesley Berg. He has not let him go, and they've reeled in the 33 of Justice. So we're talking about less than a second separating all these cars. I think we're about to see a battle for the top 5.
Yeah, we very well could. Last time by, those 3 drivers were just about even on lap time. We'll see what the laps are at the line this time by between Tyler Justice, Wesley Burke, and Daniel Parks. And yeah, they are definitely catching this time by. They were about 1.5 to 2/10 faster between Burke and Parks this past lap. So they got the pace to get there as Wesley Burke a little sideways there on the exit of turn number 2. Yeah, that truck's driving good. He's got it right where he wants it. But yeah, he's got the speed to get there. It's just going to come down to if any of these drivers make a mistake or step out of line just a little bit, whether Wesley Burke can get up there or not. Battle for the top 10 here. Chuck Phelps has the final spot in the top 10 as they currently run. Charles Abert, though, is right on the back bumper as we hit 5 laps to go, trying to get his way up into the top 10.
Yeah, if Chuck makes any mistake here, 7's going to take and capitalize on it. And in these closing laps, this is where you have to drive your best race.
Well, and the one thing that I have seen Chuck Phelps do before, and I hope he doesn't do it here, is he will let people go inside of 5 to go and just say, oh, you can have it. I don't want to ruin anybody's race. Chuck, if you've got the broadcast on, I ain't saying go out there and wreck Charles Haber. Of course, I don't want anybody to do that. But don't just let him go, Chuck. Go out and race him. Yeah, that is a locked in Chuck Pegleg Phelps that we've got here this evening. He has done everything he's needed to do to keep that truck clean, kept himself out of trouble throughout the evening. Inside of 5 laps to go, and he is trying to hang on to that final spot inside the top 10. And looking a little further up the pack here, Chance Taylor has started to reel back in Cody Anderson, and really he's done a little bit more than start to reel him in. Last time by, 0.2 of a second faster for Chance Taylor in the 14, and he has got that gap down to just 3 truck lengths as they head down into 3 and 4, getting ready to hit 2 laps to go here.
So we might see a battle for the top 3. We might see a battle for the top 10. Pay close attention to that, but it's Mark Whitley leading every single lap here today so far with 2 laps to go.
Yeah, Mark Whitley has just taken the field to the woodshed, just a lap and a half away from the win here this evening. And he's closing in on the first one that he wanted to see, that being the white flag. He knows he's not going to have any more restarts to deal with, any tire strategy. White flag in the air, presented by Glove Station, quality gloves and protective gear to get you across the finish line. Mark Whitley with the huge lead over second place, Levi McCarty. That battle for third, though, rather, is on between Cody Anderson and Chance Taylor. They are side by side in turns 1 and 2. Taylor on the inside, Anderson trying to pinch down just a little bit. Big slide out of the 14.
That might be all she wrote for third position. Doesn't look like Chuck Phelps going to lose there on the 10th spot, but there's your race winner. Mark Whitley leads every single lap here today at Gateway.
Mark Whitley from pole, leads every lap, gets his 4th win in a row, and drag race back to the line. Cody Anderson brings home the final podium position. Taking a look at the battle for the last spot in the top 10. They've caught Matt Knights. He's going to hang on to 9th. Chuck Pegleg Phelps is going to grab that last spot here in the top 10. So while the battle for the win may not have been even in the same zip code here this evening, plenty of battles coming back to the line throughout the field. Great battle we saw there for third, and then back for the final couple of spots in the top 10. But the night itself belongs to the 77 of Mark Whitley, winning the inaugural race at Gateway here for the SAVE22.vet Truck Series. He's going to burn it down on the front straightaway. Well-earned victory celebration for him. But while he's burning it down, getting his celebration going here for that win, we're going to take a quick commercial break, let you hear from some of our league sponsors. We'll be right back with you for your post-race rundown, as well as hearing from our top 3 finishers.
Superior quality, ultimate protection, and the highest level of craftsmanship. We make our gloves for the hard worker that wakes up every morning and gives 110%. You deserve the highest quality protective gear that's going to work for you, day in, day out. We know it can be tough deciding what companies to trust for your hard-earned money. It's all in our name. We've mastered our craft to help you master yours. We make our gloves rugged, durable, and designed for you. Whatever the job is, we have you covered. We are your glove station.
A thriving job market and low cost of living, plus a wide range of veteran benefits, make Indiana the perfect place for veterans of the United States military to call home. InVets can help you find that home. We're an organization started by veterans to help former service members transition to civilian life in our state. InVets can help you find the community with the career opportunities, housing, schools, and amenities that fit your lifestyle. To learn more about InVets, visit us at invets.org today.
Welcome back to Worldwide Tech Raceway here for the SAVE22.vet Truck Series. We'll take a look at your full race rundown to see where your favorite driver finished here this evening. Starting with Mark Whitley, finished first, started first, led every lap in between. I was actually trying to take a quick look here to see if he had the fastest lap of the race as well, and I believe he did. So he pulled off the hat trick here this evening
by 400.
By 4/100ths of a second, but he did indeed have the fastest lap of the race as well. So pulled off the hat trick with that. Levi McCarty finishes in the second position. Cody Anderson, great rebound for him, comes home in third. We'll hear from the three of them here in just a moment. Chance Taylor comes home in the fourth position with Tyler Justice in fifth. Wesley Burke finishes in the sixth position. Daniel Parks in seventh, Michael Jones in eighth. Matt Knights will be your ninth place truck, and rounding out the top 10 is going to be Chuck Pegleg Phelps.
5 cautions, 0 lead changes. You see it up there on the top of the screen. It's Carl Zabert, who was battling 0.2 of a second behind, but they had caught up to Matt Knights, so it got tight there. Another couple laps, and we might have had a change for ninth position. 11th spot for the 7. Michael Seymour will finish in 12th in the 37th machine. Mike Browning rode in the top 10 part of the day, rode outside of it for the rest of it. Number 4 is going to finish in 13th. James Kaufman will finish in 14th position. We saw some calamity there with the 25 and the 07. Then you go back to James Goshen. That's another truck that was definitely top 10 pace. Ends up in 15th position. Samuel Gosef picks up a lot of spots just coming back out on the racetrack. You're going to end up 10 laps down, but you still get 16th. It's not a bad day. Then you have Jason Kristen going to finish 17th. Thaddeus Friel Jr. stayed out on the racetrack for as long as he could. And the 98 going to end up 18th. And this Claire Sisk Jr. going to finish in 19th. Patrick Drabick, who had a lot of promise for a top 5 here today, going to finish in top 20. Then you have Ken Huber and Brandon Wallace not making the grid here this evening.
Well, that is your full race finishing order. Let's go ahead and get a word with our top 3, starting with the race winner, Mark Whitley. This is Daniel and Bradley up the V-Speed booth. You got us?
Yeah, I got you.
Well, I mean, I'll be honest. I don't even really know what to ask you about this one. You made it kind of boring up at the front of the field in a good way for you, though. I mean, you start on pole, led every single lap. I think this might be the first time that anybody's gone flag to flag green here, or flag to flag leading every lap in the Premier Truck Series. So I'll start off with that. How does it feel to set a little bit of history in that aspect tonight?
It feels pretty good. This is one of the tracks I used to struggle here kind of a lot, and then I don't know, about a year ago or so, it finally started to click how to run this track, and they did the repave, so I was worried it was going to be back to square one. But a few times I've run it here, you kind of run it about the same as you did before the whole rescan. It's a little bit more forgiving, I feel like now. It's kind of weird. I was talking to them in the waiting room. It's like it's one of the tracks where it's like you can't drive it easy to save tire. You kind of have to always drive it like kind of hard, not obviously overdriving it, but you have to keep actually driving and not just lollygagging to keep the heat in it. Because there's a couple times the first run I felt like I was taking it too easy in the right front. It started getting really tight, and I thought that's when Wesley started to maybe catch me a couple laps. And then you kind of have to drive it in a little bit harder than you'd want. Really use the brakes to get it rotated and get it coming off the corner to keep heating both the right sides, and it's really fun once you get the hang of it. It was frustrating to learn, but it's really fun once you've got it down.
Well, Mark, we go back to the beginning of this race where Burke was catching up to you, and then it became Levi McCarty and a few others. You had fresher tires, but at any point in this race, I know you dominated. At any point in this race, were you worried or reconsidering your approach here tonight?
I don't know about worried, the right case. I know Brantley, my spotter, was keeping me updated on Cody. He said he had a little bit fresher tires, but I wasn't too worried because I know he pitted. I think it was 10 laps after us, but I think 8 of those laps were caution. So I just kind of kept an eye on it, and then I knew once he got around, got to third, I think it seemed like we kind of evened off, and after that, it just seemed like I slowly just kind of walked away from the field. And you always worry about a caution, especially when you're that far out front. So I think coming with two to go, coming to the white flag, I think that was probably the hardest lap I drove the whole night, trying to make sure I got there as quick as I could. Not have a green white checkers. I think that was my biggest fear, was a green white checker, because you never know what's going to happen, because that long of a run, you're going to take tires. Do you take 2, 4? Does anybody stay out? And then that many, all that leads to you never know what's going to happen. So just kind of glad it finished under green. I think that was the biggest worry.
Well, really awesome job here tonight. Your 4th win in a row as well. So just, you're on a hot streak right now. There is absolutely no denying that. And congrats on the win here this evening. Before we let you go, who do you want to thank or shout out for this one?
Yeah, big shout out to all the league sponsors here. Without them, none of us would be here. Lincoln Tech, SAVE22, the Indiana Department of Veteran Affairs, InVets, ATYL, Jam Printing Information, just all the guys that make this league go around. Great league to be a part of. Glad I'm here. My personal sponsor, Brantley over at Harpoon Design. He does all my awesome paint jobs. I love the work he does. I think he's the best painter on iRacing. So if you're looking for a new painter, check him out over at harpoondesign.com. My other sponsor, Java.gg, I think they're the #1 gaming marketplace online, especially right now with the PC gaming marketplace. I think we all see how crazy it's getting with the RAM and all the other crazy stuff going on in the world. So they got some good deals over there. Check them out. Shout out to you guys putting on a great broadcast. It should be fun to go back and watch to see how whatever was going on back in the rest of the field, because it seemed like Brantley was telling me there was some good battles throughout the field. So it'd be fun to go back and watch those. And then everybody tuning into these broadcaster races, makes us feel like we're really racing like the guys you see on TV every weekend. Daryl, Rector, all them guys over in Harpoon always tune in. Appreciate them, and just everybody else out there.
Well, there you have it from your race winner, Mark Whitley. Congrats again on the just absolutely dominating performance here this evening. We'll see you next week at Charlotte.
Well, I'm actually not going to miss next week, so I'll see y'all in 2 weeks.
All right. Well, we will see you in 2 weeks at New Hampshire.
All right. Sounds good, guys. Take it easy.
That's your race winner, Mark Whitley. Let's go ahead and get a word from our second place finisher, Levi McCarty. Spradley and Daniel up in the booth. You got us?
Hey, what's up, Dan?
Hey, going good, man. Hey, you know what? You had a roller coaster night. If you're going to have problems, I guess lap 1 is the time to have them. Gave you plenty of time to work your way back up through the field. Just talk a little bit about what that was like and how you got yourself reset to drive back up through the field there.
Well, it was first off, it was embarrassing. I spun out on the apron there trying to avoid the first wreck, and yeah, not a good look. But yeah, I came in to I was at the back of the field, so I was like, I'll just top off on fuel and make sure my tires weren't like tore up, so I was able to see that they were fine. And yeah, just working my way up through the pack, utilizing shifting in both corners to make some passes was the key. But once I got up there and in second, that strategy was much slower, and it took me a while to figure out what to do to try to make time. So a little disappointed in the last run, but overall happy with being able to work up through the field and salvage the night.
Well, Levi, the Fairfield Toyota was looking really good, but if you go back to the beginning of this race, if you didn't have to race through the field, we saw it with the 18 of Anderson. If you didn't have to pass all those trucks and work so hard to get there, do you think you would have had something for Mark Whitley tonight?
Yeah, I think so. I would have been able to figure it out with more laps left and be able to kind of attack him and figure out what he was doing. But yeah, just on that last restart, I gave it all I had to even try to get there, and it was too much at the beginning and kind of a futile effort. So yeah, I think I always have a shot at him no matter what. So just looking forward to moving on to Charlotte for sure.
Well, yeah, it's definitely a solid run here for you, especially with that recovery driving back up through the field. Congrats on the P2. Before we let you go, who do you want to thank or shout out for this one?
Jam Printing and Promotions, SAVE22. Thanks to those guys for putting on an awesome series. V-Speed, thank you guys for an awesome broadcast as always. One of the best iRacing broadcasts in the business for sure. Alexander PCs, Cruising Classics, and GTR Simulators.
Well, there you have it from second place, Levi McCarty. Good run tonight. We will catch you next week at Charlotte.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
And let's go ahead and grab our third place finisher, Cody Anderson. This is Daniel and Bradley. You got me, buddy?
Gotcha.
Well, man, you had a hell of a recovery drive there with it kind of feels like same thing I was saying to Levi, just his happened substantially earlier. I can imagine what was going through your mind when the contact happened. And we saw you get spun there. So just how were you able to get yourself back in the right mindset so quickly? I mean, I'm guessing that drink you had in your hand might have had a little bit to do with it, but how were you able to get yourself back in the right mindset so quickly and then make short work of driving up through the field like that?
That's the beverage did help a little bit, but driving back up through the field, there was quite a few moves that I made that I thought I was going to wreck myself coming back up through there. But that's when I seen how few pitted, even with the caution laps that we had, I knew my tires would still be better and I could brake that much later than everybody else and kind of get that advantage on the entry of the corner. I really noticed the tires when I got up behind Chance. Chance and I are teammates now over at Prestige. So once I caught up to him and I got on his bumper, I told him it's like, I'm not going to race you side by side on the straight so we don't lose any time. And once I finally got past him and I started chasing Levi down, I was just kind of curious why it felt like my tires just fell off of a cliff, because I was running the same pace that I was the whole way through the field. They just kind of fell off a cliff and could never get them back.
Well, you still did a really great job tonight getting back up into that podium spot. I mean, in all reality, it seemed like you were about in that third place most of the evening. Just probably not the path you would have liked to have taken to get there. But hey, at least you gave us plenty to talk about tonight. So yes. Congrats on the podium. Before we let you go, who you want to thank or shout out for this one?
Just want to say thanks to Alexander PCs, MK Fire Designs, Lincoln Tech, InBets, Cruising Classics, SAVE22, you guys at V-Speed for putting on this awesome broadcast every day of the week for us here at GLR, all the guys over at Prestige Motorsports, and then TJ and all the guys there at the JGR esports team.
All right, well, congrats again on the P3. We'll see you next week at Charlotte.
Thank you.
Well, there you have it from our top three finishers here this evening. Bradley, this race saw a little bit of everything. We saw the long green flag runs. We saw the calamity, saw drivers pissed off at each other. I mean, you can't ask for much more, honestly, and this was just a gateway.
Yeah, and we go to Charlotte Motor Speedway coming up next year. This is a racetrack that needs no introduction. Kind of the mecca of motorsports. It's
yeah, I would certainly hope that we do see a new name up there if Mark Whitley is taking the week off. That would be a new impressive one if he's somehow able to make it 5 in a row while he ain't even here. I mean, he's been he's been on fire, but I'm not sure if he's quite to that point yet. But yeah, Charlotte next week, that'll be another great race. Always puts on a good show in everything, but especially the trucks, I think, are my favorite ones to see there. And like you said, we will be right there next week at 8 p.m. here on V-Speed. That's going to do it for our coverage here this evening. So on behalf of Patrick Drabick, Jamie Barkis, and everyone at Goat Locker Racing, on behalf of everybody at V-Speed, Adam Baker, you, of course, Bradley Cooper, Morgan Cook, Eddie Smith, and also Logan Threlkeld, my normal cohort up here in the booth. Hope he gets feeling better as well. Appreciate you stepping in and pulling double duty here this evening, Bradley. Thank you, everyone at V-Speed. My name's Daniel Cunningham, saying thank you for tuning in. Have a great weekend, and we will see you next week at Charlotte.